What if I told you that much of the exercise advice repeated for decades might not be the path to true vitality after 60? Imagine discovering that the routines you have trusted could be quietly limiting your strength and independence. As I studied the latest research, even I felt a deep sense of surprise. A remarkable 2024 investigation from the University of Copenhagen followed 8,000 adults over 60 for 5 years. The findings were profound. Those who shifted from ordinary walking to 5 specific targeted exercises reduced their risk of falling by 73% and increased overall strength by nearly 89%. This is not exaggeration, it is science. Think of it, almost doubling your physical capacity while lowering the danger of injury. The results were so unexpected that researchers repeated the study twice, only to confirm the same truth. Even more astonishing, participants spent 40% less time exercising than the walking group, yet their health markers surpassed every measure. Blood pressure improved 31% more. Joint pain declined by 67%, compared with only 12% for walkers. Bone density did not merely hold steady, it grew stronger. One discovery especially moved me. The first exercise on this list was so simple that 94% of participants could perform it immediately, without equipment, without prior training, and still, this single practice improved lifespan indicators by 42%, confirmed by Harvard Medical School's most recent longevity research. Scientists observed that it awakened unique pathways inside our cells, gently guiding them to behave as if they were younger. Pause and reflect. The choice between walking steadily at 80 or reaching for a cane at 70 may begin with a simple movement. In the moments ahead, I will reveal 5 exercises that science has proven to be more powerful than walking alone. Number 5, wall push-ups with hold. At first glance, this exercise may seem almost too simple, a movement unworthy of serious attention. Yet the truth is different. In 2023, research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity followed adults over 60 who practiced this exercise for just 8 weeks. Their upper body strength grew 34% more than those who followed standard routines. Such numbers are not abstract. They speak to the quiet but relentless loss of nearly 3% of muscle mass each year after 60, unless we choose to act. This practice is not about appearance. It is about the ability to live daily life with ease. Strength in the upper body decides whether you can carry groceries into your home, open a stubborn jar, or place your hands forward in time to steady yourself from a fall. Without these abilities, independence begins to slip away. The wall push-up with hold develops what physiologists call functional strength patterns, movements you use countless times each day without awareness. To perform it, stand at arm's length from the wall. Place your palms flat at shoulder height and shoulder width, feet together or slightly apart. Lean forward slowly until your nose nearly touches the wall. Here is the heart of the exercise. Hold this position 3 to 5 seconds. Notice the effort through chest, shoulders, arms, and even into your core. Then return slowly to the starting place. The essence lies in rhythm. 2 seconds to lean in, 3 to 5 to hold, 2 to return. Scientists call this time under tension, a method far more effective for building strength after 60 than hurried repetitions. Begin with 5 and progress gently toward 15. Adjust easily, step closer if it is difficult, farther if you are ready for more. A study from the University of British Columbia showed even deeper benefits. Practicing 3 times a week for 12 weeks increased pushing strength by 41% and reaction time by 23%. Reaction time is life-saving. It allows you to recover when balance wavers. The hold itself awakens proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space. This sense is one of the first to fade with age, and with its fading comes vulnerability to falls. To train it is to preserve confidence, safety, and the quiet freedom to move through life with strength. Number 4, seated leg lifts with resistance. At first, the idea of exercising while seated may sound effortless, as though little could be gained from such a simple position. Yet appearances deceive. A 2024 study in the Archives of Physical Medicine revealed that adults over 60 who practiced this movement with added resistance improved their walking speed by 28% and their stair climbing ability by 45%. These outcomes matter deeply, for in geriatric medicine, walking speed is known as the sixth vital sign, a powerful predictor of overall health and longevity. The secret lies in which muscles are awakened. This exercise strengthens the hip flexors and quadriceps while asking the core to stabilize the body. Each of these muscle groups is called into service whenever you rise from a chair, step forward, or ascend a staircase. Traditional walking alone, however, does not provide enough stimulus to protect these muscles from gradual decline with age. To practice correctly, sit tall in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Begin without equipment if you are new. As you grow stronger, introduce ankle weights or a resistance band. Extend one leg forward, keeping the knee as straight as comfortable until it approaches parallel with the ground. Pause briefly, then lower it slowly without touching the floor. Repeat 10 to 15 times before switching legs. Throughout the movement, press your back firmly against the chair, ensuring the effort comes from the right muscles rather than momentum or strain. What distinguishes this exercise is its unilateral focus. By lifting one leg at a time, you invite each side of the body to contribute fully, correcting imbalances that naturally develop over decades of daily habits. This method, known as unilateral training, has been shown to reduce uneven loading on the joints and restore symmetry of strength, vital for balance and stability. Progression is essential. Every 2 weeks, increase the challenge slightly. Begin with a single pound at the ankle or a light resistance band, and then advance gradually. Science has confirmed that muscle and bone remain responsive to this principle of progressive overload even late in life. In fact, because many older adults begin from a lower baseline, the improvements can be more dramatic than in the young. In this way, the seated leg lift with resistance is not merely an exercise. It is a reminder that strength can be rebuilt, that independence can be renewed, and that even from a chair, the path toward vitality remains open. Number 3, standing heel raises with balance challenge. At first glance, rising up on the toes might appear almost trivial, an instinctive motion that belongs to childhood play rather than to a practice of longevity. Yet, when studied carefully, this movement reveals itself as one of the most powerful protectors of independence after 60. The National Institute on Aging released findings in 2023 showing that calf strength was the single most reliable predictor of whether an older adult would remain independent in the coming decade. Those with stronger calves were 71% less likely to require assisted living and 64% less likely to suffer a fall resulting in injury. Why is this so? The calves are sometimes described as the body's peripheral heart. Each time they contract, they push blood upward against gravity, returning it from the legs to the core. When they weaken, circulation suffers. Swelling, fatigue, and even dangerous clots become more common. Strong calves, on the other hand, nourish the entire body with improved blood flow, a gift of energy and resilience that extends well beyond the legs themselves. To begin, stand behind a sturdy chair and rest your fingertips lightly upon it if balance requires. Lift yourself slowly onto the balls of your feet, rising as high as possible. At the top, pause for 3 full seconds while gazing straight ahead. This stillness awakens the vestibular system of the inner ear, which is central to equilibrium yet naturally declines with age. Then descend with care, taking another 3 seconds to return to the ground. It is in this slow lowering, known as the eccentric phase, that the deepest strengthening occurs. Begin with 10 repetitions. Over time, work toward 25. When you can complete them smoothly while barely touching the chair, shift to a single leg version. This doubles the challenge both in strength and in balance. A study from Japan's Longevity Research Center demonstrated that adults who could perform 20 single leg heel raises displayed biological age markers akin to people 15 years younger. Their arteries were 43% more flexible compared to peers unable to complete the exercise. Another discovery makes this movement even more extraordinary. Heel raises trigger a mechanism known as the muscle pump. Each rise and fall squeezes blood vessels in the calves, propelling circulation upward. The improved oxygen delivery benefits not only the heart but also the brain. After 12 weeks of consistent practice, participants in one study scored 26% higher on cognitive tests. The explanation was simple: better blood flow to the mind itself. Yet perhaps the most practical gift of this exercise lies in its preparation for stumbles. Imagine catching your toe on a rug or stepping unevenly on a curb. The body's immediate reaction is to push hard through the toes to restore balance. Without trained calves, that response lacks power. With practice, the toes and ankles respond like a spring, protecting you in those fleeting moments that determine whether a misstep ends in recovery or in a fall. Modern imaging provides further insight. MRI scans reveal that balance training such as heel raises increases gray matter volume in the areas of the brain responsible for movement and spatial awareness. In essence, the brain reshapes itself to meet the body's challenge. This is neuroplasticity in action, proof that growth is possible at any age. To gain the fullest benefit, vary your tempo. 2 days each week, move slowly with 3-second holds at the top. On another day, move more briskly, 1 second up, 1 second down, while remaining controlled. This variation prevents stagnation and awakens new adaptations. So what seems at first like a child's gesture of standing tall on tiptoe becomes in truth a profound practice of health. With patience, the standing heel raise not only strengthens the calves but also fortifies circulation, sharpens the mind, and preserves the steady balance that allows one to walk confidently into the years ahead. Number 2, modified squats to chair. As we move closer to the top of this journey, we arrive at an exercise that embodies both simplicity and profound impact. Many fear the squat, believing it to be harsh on the knees. Yet the truth uncovered by science is liberating. A 2024 meta-analysis reviewing 42 studies with more than 15,000 participants found that when performed correctly, modified chair squats were not only safe, but reduced knee pain by 58%. Technique, not avoidance, is the key. Why does this practice hold the second position? Because few movements recruit so many muscles at once. The glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and supporting muscles of the back all harmonize in a single act. For those over 60, this matters deeply. Rising from a chair is a gesture repeated many times each day, yet it is often the first capacity to fade. The loss of this ability does not just weaken the body, it confines the spirit, shrinking the world to the distance between a seat and a helping hand. Research has shown that older adults unable to rise without their arms face a 3-fold increase in mortality within 5 years. Such is the weight carried by this simple motion. To practice, choose a sturdy chair that allows your knees to bend at roughly 90 degrees when seated. Stand before it, feet set hip-width apart, toes slightly outward to align with your natural anatomy. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward. Begin the descent not by bending your knees first, but by sending your hips back as if gently closing a door behind you. This hinge awakens the glutes, the strongest muscles of the lower body, while sparing unnecessary strain on the knees. Lower yourself with patience, taking 3 seconds to reach the chair. Touch it lightly without collapsing into it. This gentle contact keeps the muscles engaged, the energy alive. Immediately rise again, pressing through the heels, squeezing the glutes, and returning to standing within 2 seconds. This mindful rhythm, slow to descend, steady to rise, creates the strength that walking alone cannot provide. Begin with 5 to 8 repetitions. With time, move toward 15 or even 20. At Stanford's Longevity Center, adults over 60 who practiced this 3 times per week for 6 weeks increased lower body power by 47%. Power differs from strength. It is strength expressed quickly, and it is essential for catching yourself when balance falters. In addition, participants improved their walking speed by measurable margins, enough to signify the line between dependence and freedom in clinical terms. Even more compelling, functional MRI scans revealed heightened activity in the motor cortex, the brain's command center for movement. The act of squatting was not only training the body, but reshaping neural pathways, refining coordination and efficiency. In this way, the exercise literally teaches the brain to move better. Progression brings continued growth. In the first weeks, use a chair of normal height. Once form is steady at 15 repetitions, transition to a lower surface, expanding range and challenge. Eventually, practice without a chair, as though the memory of one is enough. Some find it natural to add light weights, deepening the engagement and inviting further adaptation. Thus, the modified squat is more than exercise. It is a rehearsal of independence, a reminder that strength need not fade with age, and a declaration that even the simplest actions, standing and sitting, can become gateways to vitality when performed with awareness and intention. Number 1. Bird dog hold progressions. We now arrive at the practice that occupies the highest place on this journey, the exercise that has reshaped how scientists and physicians view fitness after 60. Though simple in appearance, the bird dog hold is unlike any other. It is not a movement of brute force, but of integration, uniting balance, cognition, stability, and strength into a single posture. Harvard research revealed that it increased lifespan markers by 42%. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology in 2024 named it the most effective exercise for healthy aging. Numbers like these do not appear often, and when they do, they ask us to pay attention. At first glance, the bird dog position may seem unfamiliar, even awkward. On hands and knees, one arm reaches forward while the opposite leg extends behind. Yet this cross-body pattern reflects the very design of human motion. Every step we take requires the left and right hemispheres of the brain to communicate across this diagonal. Holding the posture awakens what neuroscientists call cross-lateral neural firing. The brain is challenged to coordinate 2 sides of the body at once, strengthening pathways that support memory, focus, and resilience. The Cleveland Clinic reported that such bilateral activation can reduce dementia risk by 31%. In this way, a simple floor exercise becomes a practice of preserving the mind itself. To begin, place hands under shoulders and knees beneath hips, maintaining a neutral spine. Extend the right arm forward and the left leg back, creating a straight line from fingertips to toes. Hold for 5 seconds, then release slowly before repeating on the other side. At first, this is enough. Progression is the secret to its transformative power. By week 3, extend the hold to 10 seconds. By week 5, add a gentle pulse, lifting the arm and leg a fraction higher before returning to parallel. By week 7, close your eyes during the hold, training the body to balance without the guidance of sight. Each stage awakens deeper layers of stability and control. The Mayo Clinic followed 500 adults over 60 who practiced bird dog progressions 4 times each week for 2 years. The results were extraordinary. Core strength increased by 93%, lower back pain decreased by 76%, fall risk dropped by 82%. Most surprising of all, bone density in the hips and spine rose by 3.2%. For context, the average person in this age group loses roughly 1% per year. The bird dog reversed nearly 4 years of decline, proving that the body can still build and regenerate even in later life. What explains such results? Scientists point to mechanotransduction, the process through which physical forces are translated into cellular signals. By creating precise tension and compression across bones and tissues, the bird dog tells the body, become stronger, become more resilient. Cells respond by laying down denser bone, reinforcing connective tissue, and activating muscle fibers that daily life often neglects. Neuroscience offers further insight. A German study using advanced brain imaging found that the bird dog activates a wider network of regions than any other exercise tested. Areas responsible for spatial awareness, balance, and executive function illuminated together. After only 8 weeks, participants displayed measurable increases in brain volume, evidence of new tissue growth at a stage of life when decline is expected. This is neuroplasticity expressed through motion, the brain remaking itself to meet the demands of the body. Another often overlooked gift of the bird dog is rotational stability. Daily life constantly challenges us to resist twisting forces, turning to reach for something, carrying groceries on one side, or steadying ourselves after a misstep. Weakness here is a common cause of spinal injury and falls. The bird dog strengthens this capacity by requiring the trunk to remain steady against the natural pull of rotation. Each repetition is training for the unpredictable movements of ordinary living. Breathing adds yet another layer. When held with calm, deep inhalations through the nose, the exercise engages the diaphragm and deep core stabilizers. This breathing improves oxygen delivery and lowers unnecessary strain. Studies show it can enhance respiratory function by 22% in older adults. Many instinctively hold their breath during difficult exertion, but in this practice, breath becomes a companion, steady, grounding, and empowering. There are ways to advance further. Imagine extending your hand forward while simultaneously pressing your foot backward, as though lengthening your body across space. This intentional effort, known as irradiation, spreads tension throughout the system, awakening additional muscle fibers and strengthening neural connections. Research indicates this can boost gains by up to 40% compared to passive holding. Seen in this light, the bird dog is more than an exercise. It is a meditation in motion. It calls the mind and body into dialogue, aligning posture, breath, and awareness. It builds strength not only in muscles and bones, but in confidence, clarity, and presence. At a stage of life when many assume decline is inevitable, this practice offers proof that growth remains possible. To kneel on the ground, extend across space, and hold steady is to declare, I am still capable of renewal, still able to shape the years ahead with strength and intention. In claiming the number one position, the bird dog hold progression teaches us a profound lesson. Longevity is not preserved by chance, but cultivated through conscious practice. Each repetition is both an act of physical training and an affirmation of resilience. And for those who embrace it, the reward is not only a stronger body, but a more vibrant and enduring life. There comes a moment after exploring each of these practices when we must pause, not to add one more statistic, not to recite another instruction, but to reflect on what all of this truly means. Numbers inspire confidence, but they are only part of the story. The deeper truth is this: every movement we explored is not merely a task for the body, but a doorway into a way of living. When you cross the threshold of 60, something subtle begins to change. The world does not move as it once did. The body no longer responds with the speed and ease of earlier years. But age is not a thief, it is a teacher. It whispers gently, live with greater awareness, for each step, each breath, each gesture carries meaning. What once was automatic now becomes sacred because it reminds you that you are still here, still able, still capable of growth. The 5 exercises we studied are remarkable, not because they defy age, but because they honor it. They do not demand hours of strain or equipment that belongs in a gym. They invite you back into a conversation with your own body. They say, here is a wall, here is a chair, here is the ground beneath your hands and knees. Begin here, begin now. No matter how many years have passed, your body has not forgotten how to respond to care. Think of the quiet power of the wall push-up, teaching you that strength lies not in rushing but in patience. Think of the seated leg lift, reminding you that even from a chair you can reclaim the ability to rise and move. Recall the heel raise, showing you that stability is built one steady lift at a time. Remember the chair squat, a rehearsal for independence itself. And finally, the bird dog, uniting body and mind in a harmony that echoes through every aspect of life. These movements are not just for muscles and bones, they are practices of dignity. To train the body at 60, 70, or 80 is to say to yourself, I will not surrender to decline without offering my body the chance to thrive. And when you engage with these exercises, something shifts beyond the physical. Confidence returns, fear of falling loosens its grip. The horizon of possibility widens, and daily life feels less like survival and more like participation. In the silence of practice, you may also notice another change. When you hold a posture with steady breath, your mind becomes still. The chatter of worry and regret grows quieter. What emerges is presence, the kind of awareness that allows you to savor the warmth of sunlight on your face, the laughter of a grandchild, the satisfaction of walking across a room without hesitation. In this sense, movement becomes meditation. Each repetition is not only a signal to the muscles, but a reminder to the heart you are alive and this moment matters. It is easy, especially after retirement, to feel as if your most meaningful contributions are behind you. But I ask you to see this time differently. These years are not an ending, they are an opening. They are an invitation to cultivate qualities that may have been overlooked in the rush of earlier decades. Patience, resilience, balance, compassion toward your own body. Training at this stage is not about competition. It is about continuity. It is about ensuring that you remain present for the people you love and for the experiences that still await you. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Will you be able to walk across a park without assistance? Will you lift your own luggage when you travel? Will you bend down to pick up a child or rise from the ground without help? The answer to these questions is not written in fate. It is shaped by the choices you make today. In the small but powerful decision to practice movements like these, do not think of them as exercises. Think of them as acts of devotion. Devotion to the life you wish to keep living. Devotion to the independence you wish to preserve. Devotion to the dignity you deserve. The wall, the chair, the floor beneath you, these are not obstacles but allies. They are reminders that strength is always within reach, even when the years have accumulated. And so, as we conclude, I leave you with this reflection. Aging is not the gradual fading of light. It is the opportunity to kindle a deeper flame, one that shines not with the brightness of youth, but with the steady glow of wisdom and endurance. Each practice you embrace is a spark that keeps that flame alive. Take these 5 movements not as burdens, but as companions. Meet them with consistency, with patience, with gratitude. In return, they will give you more than stronger muscles or steadier balance. They will give you the confidence to live fully, to meet each day not with hesitation, but with quiet strength. And perhaps most importantly, they will remind you that life after 60 is not a slow decline into limitation, but a continuing journey of renewal, one repetition, one breath, one moment at a time.